Good evening, kindred. I am Teranz, and welcome back to more Vampire Coteries of New York. Save myself like a couple syllables. Last time we met and recruited and started headway into making friends with this gentleman up here, whose name escapes me. Today we are going to meet this gentleman who just slipped us a note. Though I suppose I technically don't know it's him yet, but clearly the game is showing me who it is, so. But before I actually get started here, one thing I've been trying to figure out is what to do with this series. Like this is what, episode 8, and like, I don't know, me sitting here and just kind of like reading and poorly trying to do voices for people, like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem entertaining enough, if that makes sense. So if you have any suggestions on what might help make it more entertaining, I don't know, maybe if I just like pause at certain points and just kind of like talk, I don't know, maybe I'll just have to watch some other people when they do like kind of these more visual novel style games, because just sitting here and reading also kind of doesn't, I don't know, like I said, just it's one of those things where like it doesn't seem bad, but sorry, I can also see how it's boring. But anyway, with that kind of out of the way, let's begin. You haven't been to a church since you became a vampire, or kindred as the euphemism goes. You've had to focus on concrete practical things like survival and feeding. You've learned the essentials of the vampire experience, but you don't really have a clear idea of what it all means. And one day I will learn how to read, and that will be very helpful in life. The Cathedral of St. John the Divine is a New York landmark. You've been inside once before when you were much younger. You marveled at its Gothic facade. Looking at it now from across the street, it feels ominous. The prospect of an anonymous invitation to a secret meeting is a worrying one, but the venue is well chosen. It's hard to imagine a violent attack in a place like this with eyes everywhere. You enter the cathedral discreetly. You've quickly learned this is an essential skill for a vampire. How to move without anyone noticing you. The full force of the cathedral's architecture hits you as you walk between the pews. If the architect meant to create the feeling of being small in the face of God's glory, mission accomplished. Based on the note, you're assuming that whoever you're meeting is somewhere in the front. As you step closer to the high altar, it feels as if something is dragging at your feet, as if the stone beneath you resisted your movement. It's been a long time since you prayed. You wonder whether God listens to creatures like you. Fatalistically, you take a step, then another. You're not sure if your God is present in this cathedral, but perhaps it doesn't matter. What you feel is real enough. There's an old man sitting in the front. See only the back of his head bowed down in silent prayer. Your footsteps echo on the floor and he turns to look at you. Can't take your eyes off him. He is tall, dignified, white hair balding, a few strands escaping to the sides. He's wearing glasses and simple clerical clothing. His eyes are warm and pale, too kind for someone like you. Something is wrong. You feel heavy, as if a giant hand was pressing you down. Skin on your face is burning. Perhaps unconsciously, you expected something like this as a vampire walking into a cathedral. Only it's not the building or God making you feel like you're burning alive. It's the man, the priest. Welcome, my child. The priest's tone is kind, but the rising panic inside is telling you that kindness is not for the likes of you. The man is looking straight into your soul. You turn and run the way you came, stumbling out of the cathedral. You emerge outside, confused and scared. What was that? At least you escaped unharmed. You stand on the sidewalk, confused and scared. No enemies seem to be attacking you. The priest didn't follow you. The night air is wet with the smell of the city, the same as every night. How did it feel? You look at the man speaking to you. He is well dressed, if a little archaic, dark-haired, handsome, like a character from an old movie. He smiles as if he knows something you don't. You glance around. There are people on the street. You don't appear to be in immediate danger. Why does it hurt so much? That's the question I wanted to talk to you about. Let me introduce myself. My name is Benoit Segal. We share many things in common, even if you don't know. Benoit offers his hand to you. I'll shake his hand. Benoit's handshake is firm and dry. He looks at you intently, as if trying to find something in your eyes. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I think I don't know. Would you mind staying with me for a moment? He points to a park bench nearby in darkness because of a broken streetlight. Rarely you decide to follow him. Only an enemy totally unconcerned with the masquerade would attack you here. He sits down and you follow suit. For a moment, you both contemplate the cathedral in silence. I know how it feels, what you just felt. I've experienced it myself, many times. For a moment, you consider how to respond. It's clear he sent the invitation to come here and orchestrate this little sudden. I'm thinking of hitting you in the face. Do I have a reason not to? You'll have to decide that for yourself. Let's talk a while. And if you still feel violent, I'll let you take a punch at me. I wanted you to meet Father Anthony, or see him, experience him. Did you wonder why it felt like that? Was it some kind of supernatural power? No, not at all. I don't think so. It's his faith that makes you feel like that. He's safe in his belief that... Jeez, man, words sometimes. He's safe in his belief while you are one of the damned. Do you ever wonder what's the role of a vampire in God's creation? Stop to think. Of course you've wondered what this is all about. Whether it's about God or nature, you really don't know what being a vampire means. That's the trouble with the masquerade. A human face with a human problem can go online and find something that helps. You can't. The masquerade means that everything there is to know about your condition is secret, hidden away. You left relying on the unreliable opinions of people like Benoit. Suddenly he takes your hand and presses it against his chest. As he stares into your eyes, you feel his heart stop. My heart no longer beats, yet I move. I talk. Is that how God intended us to be? No, he didn't. I know he didn't. This is wrong. Yes, I agree. The question is, can there be salvation for the likes of us? Sometimes I'm skeptical too. But in Father Anthony's presence, I know faith is real. I know it because it hurts so much. Or perhaps you have questions about faith in our kind. How do you know any of these stories are true? I don't. How could I know? This is what faith is. You have to believe something. Good and evil, right and wrong, love and hate. I believe we are damned. I also believe that there is always hope. Grace. Father Anthony's faith shows me the way. It's so easy for us to lose ourselves in a morass of occult speculation. Some of our kind revere Cain, others Cain, a mythical figure considered to be the first vampire. Some vampires refer to themselves as Cainites, members of the race of Cain. Many in the Camarilla place their faith in the invisible guidance of the Methuselahs who are supposed to watch over us. Methuselah's vampire who has existed for a millennium or more. They no longer participate in kindred society and are rumored to be 4th and 5th generation. Yet I wonder how much of that really matters when compared to the character of a good man. This is a lot to take in, all these myths. Hard to know what to believe. Alright. Just waiting for it to load because that's a lot of text. Anyway, I know it's overwhelming. It was for me when I first met Father Anthony. I know there are others like him whose face shines like a beacon. Priests, old ladies, children. Anyone can have that conviction inside them. This is too much. You expect me to go along with this insanity? He nods patiently. Let's meet again in a few nights here at the Cathedral. We can talk more after you've thought it through. You leave him sitting in the shadow of the Cathedral, contemplating what lies within. It would be easier to ignore his words without the reality of what you experience. Father Anthony was holy. You know it to be true, but what does that mean? Alright, we will try to recruit Jezebel's Chelder. You make your way through the Grand Army Plaza, passing the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch. You can't help but feel a tinge of nostalgia as you picture the place as you've seen it countless times, in broad daylight teeming with life. You quickly get over it and pass through the northwest gate into Prospect Park. The park is usually a maze of unkempt foliage and dimly lit alleys, since silence hangs in the air as it would at this time of night. There doesn't appear to be any sign of kindred presence. You start to suspect Langley's source fed her a bunch of bullshit. You're not willing to give up just yet. As you ponder your options, you hear footsteps coming from behind a line of trees, quick but evenly paced, most likely a late-night jogger. No vampire would take kindly to you feeding in their domain, but then again, perhaps you could kill two birds with one stone. You head south, delving deeper into the less frequented section of the park. Passing by a babbling stream, you make your way into the ravine. Home to some of the oldest trees in the park, it's the place to go when you want to get away from the crowd and enjoy some one-on-one time with nature. that's during the day. At night, it's bound to be a gangrel's delight. Making your way through the brush, you come across a rocky crevice hidden behind a wobbly chain link fence. You leap over the fence in a single bound, trying to land as quietly as kindredly possible. The crevice looks deep enough for you to think twice about jumping in. Instead, you peer into the darkness below, listening intently. In a split second, the air by the side of your head swirls like a vortex. Driven by sheer instinct, you lean back just as 5 finger-shaped razors cut through the darkness, missing your face by an inch. A clawed shadow jumps back a few paces, preparing to correct its mistake. You catch a glimpse of the assailant. Looks pretty animalistic, alright, but he's not the one you're looking for. For starters, it's a he. Just as he's about to lunge at you, a snarling resounds from the bushes nearby, stopping your foe in their tracks. Out of the shadow emerges a young woman, baring her teeth ever so slightly. She walks over, calmly, her eyes fixed on your assailant. Alright, her presence is enough to make him reconsider attacking you, but not to withdraw completely. He glances over to her, puffing up his chest. Stay out of it, Tam. I smelled him first. Tam, how about that? She raises an eyebrow, but remains silent. Her compatriot turns back towards you. You shouldn't have come here, pretty boy. I'm gonna fuck you up so bad you'll be wearing your tongue as a fucking necktie. Tamika looks at you expectantly. Alright, boy. Let's see if your bite is as bad as your bark. Or your bark is as bad as your bark. I don't know. Words are hard. Clearly taken aback, he looks over to Tamika, as if gauging her reaction. Guess I know who the alpha around here is. A barely visible smile creeps up on Tamika's lips. The man's eyes narrow. Although you can't really see it, you could bet the hair on the back of his neck just stood up. Shut your fucking mouth, pretty boy. You should have run when you had the chance. A fierce growl echoes across the alley, stopping the savage in his tracks. Tamika walks over to her comrade, her fangs glistening in the dim lamplight. She puts a hand on the side of his head, caressing his hair and tugging his ear, as if she was scolding a puppy. She leans over and speaks in a voice that's firm yet oddly affectionate. It's okay, Raoul. I'll handle it from here. The male gangrel looks at her with a mix of timidity and resentment. Then he turns back towards you. You want to waste time on this, asshole, Tam? Be my guest. Having said his piece, Raoul retreats to the shadows, although if you were to guess, he's likely to stay within earshot. With her companion gone, Tamika turns to you once more. What do you want? Straight to the point, huh? I like that. I don't care what you like. Now quit stalling. You have something to say? Say it. I come with an offer. I'm willing to offer you my services such as they are. All I would hope for is in return is a fruitful, long-lasting relationship. So, you want to help me with something because you want to be my friend. That about right? Yeah, when you put it that way, it does sound corny, doesn't it? Uh-huh. She puts on a veneer of skepticism. You can tell she's intrigued. Corny's not bad, though. I think I'm okay with corny. What I'm not okay with is putting my ass on the line and getting stabbed in the back for my troubles. So why exactly should I trust anything you say? Don't expect you to. Not yet, anyway. Good, because my trust is earned, not given. Then let me earn it. A few nights of your time. That's all I ask. For a brief moment, she stands there, motionless, looking straight into your eyes as if trying to size you up. Finally, she looks away. It looks like she's come to a decision. Just so that we're clear, I don't trust you. I have no reason to. Frankly, you sound more lost than I am. Still, you have that earnest look about you. Naive, almost. I can tell you believe what you're saying. So I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. I have some outstanding business to take care of. I'll let you know once that's done. Meet me here and we'll see what you're really made of. And with that, Tamika disappears into the night. That went pretty well, all things considered. Alright, I need to rest. Okay, so since I need to rest and we got through 2 people right now, I am going to, I think that's good for an episode, so I will call it here. I don't know, I feel weird every time I ask for likes and subscribes, so I'm just gonna say, if you like the episode, you know what to do, and I will see you all next time.